So we've established that negative externalities are an example of a market failure, and in order for society to have the correct amount or the socially optimal amount of the good that created the pollution, we need some regulations, some policies, some intervention. So here's a look at some of those interventions. This video is about command and control, or environmental standards, sort of the oldest and most often used of the environmental regulations. So there's a lot of different types of command and control or traditional environmental regulations, but they all have something in common, and that is that they are sort of heavy-handed, top-down solutions to reducing pollution from the government. For instance, you could require that firms have a certain type of anti-pollution equipment, scrubbers for their smokestacks, for instance, or you can fine the firms for going over their allotted pollution. But in all cases, it's a lot of cost of policing. But they get at the problem in the way that they're trying to get the firm to account for the social cost of pollution when they make their production decisions. So it's a step in the right direction. And command and control legislation or policy can be very effective. It's just that it can be very costly. So here are some difficulties with command and control environmental regulation. It offers no incentive to improve the quality of the environment beyond the standard. So there's no incentive to do better. And this is all of these policies assume that the government knows exactly how much of the pollutant to allow. And even that estimation can be tricky. It's inflexible, right? Requiring the same standard for all polluters, new ones, old ones, more modern factories, older factories, can be really tough because it is going to cost newer firms much less than older firms to come into compliance with the law, and basically it can be a pretty inequitable way to spread pollution reduction across an industry. And then finally, it's subject to compromises in the political process. Of course, this is going to be true for any environmental regulation, but when you make it a high cost standard like this, you increase the incentive for lobbying and corruption of the political process. So it may be no surprise to you that command and control or traditional environmental regulation has lost a little bit of use over the years in favor of newer, more flexible and cheaper types of environmental regulation. Woohoo!